In this tutorial, we're going to see how to take a 3D floor plan with a 3D roof and have AutoCAD Architecture create the exterior elevations for us. Let's begin by returning to model space if you were continuing on from the previous tutorial. If you're still in paper space, there's an icon to the left of the Layout tab that if you hover over it should say Model. So there we're back to model space. And then if I click on the Home tab and see the ribbon at the top, the far right panel, or one of the far right panels, should say Section and Elevation. And what we're looking to find is the elevation line command. So we'll click on that, and AutoCAD is asking us to draw the elevation line start point. So I'm just going to start on the left end of this floor plan and a little bit above at the top, and then just come straight down till I'm at the left on the bottom. And it's going to show us this elevation line in a light blue, with a light blue box. Let's click on that light blue box, and you'll notice the ribbon changes, and there's an option for generating an elevation. Let's click on that option, and we want to generate a 2D section or elevation, in this case an elevation with hidden line removal. And the display set should be set to elevation, but we need to select the objects that we want AutoCAD to generate this elevation from. So I'm just going to click and drag a window around my entire floor plan, then hit enter, and then we can select where we want this elevation to be drawn. So let's just pick a point and come down somewhere toward the bottom of our screen, and we can move this later on, but we'll pick a point there, and then when we hit OK, we should see our elevation created from that point. Okay, so let's create another elevation, this time looking at the side of this floor plan. So we'll go back to the Home tab, click on the Elevation Line command, and this time we'll come down below the floor plan, going from left to right, constructing a little line. And you notice it draws another elevation box, and we'll click on that one, choose Generate Elevation, select Objects. We'll pick our floor plan again by drawing a window around it, then hitting Enter, and then we'll pick a new point for where we want this elevation to be. And I'm going to try to line it up with the floor line of my other elevation. I'm going to hit OK. There we have that elevation now. And then finally we'll do the other end view. So again, back to the Home tab, choose the Elevation Line command. I'm going to be on the right end this time, drawing a line from top to bottom. But notice how the box doesn't cover the floor plan this time. Well, let's go ahead and click on that box, and we're going to choose the reverse option in the elevation ribbon there, and then we'll say Generate Elevation. Again, we'll select all the objects of our floor plan with a window, hit Enter, pick a point where we want this to be drawn. Again, I'm going to try to line it up with the my existing floor line of my other two elevations, and when I hit OK, there we have those elevations. Alright, now that we're at this point, let's save this. Let's save this as, what do we want to call this? The Garage 2 with elevation. Some different name, it doesn't really matter at this point. Then let's go ahead and erase our floor plan. So we just have the elevations. And let's insert a new border. What border should we use? We'll go ahead with our 8.5 by 11, but let's make the scale factor 64. See if that gives us enough room. Ooh, that's going to be a little tight. Let's try a border with a scale of 96. That will be a 1/8 inch equals a foot scale. Alright, that looks big enough for what we want. And we can just use our move command. And we'll move. Actually, we don't need to use the move command. We can just select on the elevation. It's treated almost like a block. And we can move these elevations around to where we want them to go in our border. Again, I'm going to try to keep the floor lines even with each other. And at this point too, let's zoom in again. We can apply some hatching. We want to create a hatch layer and create some hatching. I'm going to come in here, create a new layer, call it hatching, and I like green for my hatching as usual. Make the hatch layer the current layer, and we can just come in and apply our roof hatch like we normally would. I don't need to select on that. I'll just click my hatch command, find the pattern that I want. I believe we were using AR roof shake, ARR shake, and select. That didn't work. Okay, there we go. Got a little bit ahead of myself. And then go ahead and do the siding like you normally have done on elevations before.